Welcome to the Night Temple, a podcast about art, memory, and inspiration.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm here today with Ev Morris, who is an incredible composer, musician, vocalist, pianist. You've been in several projects as well, from Pikelet. You can interject with other band names if those are ones that you want to throw in there. But I'm really excited to talk to you. The last time I talked to you, you were in LA with me.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I'm still over
And you're still
here.
in LA.
But it's awesome to
I feel like when I
Scorpio. We're
visited you
both
how many
Scorpio.
years ago? Oh yeah, we are both Scorpios. I
I
think it wasn't when I was there in 2020. It was the time before that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It
Yes.
was 2019.
Ah.
Yeah. And
So many decades ago in my mind.
right. And apocalypses and
There were sweeter times, there were simpler times.
they were, but it's really good to see you. And
Yeah, likewise.
with this podcast, I really just, when we do these Night Temple podcasts, we like, exploring inspiration and memory and
Great topics.
themes, like the mythic themes of who you are. What I found doing this is whoever I speak to, at some point there are like themes that just come up
Mm,
repetitively, and I find it really beautiful to
mm,
notice like a person's kind of soul purpose, or soul expression.
mm.
And so
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like I know exactly what you mean, and I think music people are often good people to talk to about this stuff.
Mm.
Because why? I guess because we have to think a lot about why we want to do something that's so difficult. Like it's a difficult industry. So like we're kind of like, why am I doing this? So you get pretty clear about your core values over the years, don't you think?
I think so. And also, I think when you're a lyricist as well,
Mm.
there are,
I think of myself as a music person more than a lyricist, though. I think
yeah.
lyrics for me have always come really last minute
Mm.
and kind of almost in this way that's like, it feels so much like a subconscious communication that
But
I'm
that's
like,
the
I really
thing.
don't feel like I have that much to do with this.
But that's the thing. That's where it's like divination, It's almost like
Mm-mm.
reading the bones, because
Yeah, or just your own bones,
your
your
own
own
bones.
body.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like,
your own bones, your own body. Because I love
mm,
that aspect of because I'm the same. I don't know what the hell I'm saying, and then I'm
yeah.
like, whoa, that's what I said.
Two
Weird.
years later, sometimes you're like, that's what I was doing. I was going through that. Okay. I
Well,
think that is the best thing about music is how much it tells you about yourself. But I've lately also been thinking so much about how much it's really important also for me as when you mention memory, that makes a lot of sense to me because I don't remember my life really. You
yeah,
know, like I feel like my life flashes past me. I think it
yeah.
probably happens like that to everybody. But I also have quite pretty severe memory issues. Because I smoke weed, but also because of being ADHD autistic.
Mm.
And so it's like I've realized over the years that even before I knew I was had any kind of neurological stuff going on, that I was storing my memories somewhere
Yeah,
in the songs.
yeah,
And it's so immediate. When you hear a song, you are back where you were. And
yeah,
so I've realized, yeah, it's like so for the purpose of understanding myself.
yeah,
And like over the years, you're always learning more and more about yourself, so you kind of need to put it somewhere,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well, I'm going to start with somewhat of a memory kind of question in a way. And I feel like, this is one for many artists that is kind of visceral, I think. But what first drew you, I guess, emotionally to music? And
Well,
when did that, yeah, when did that
yeah.
happen? How did that happen? And when did that happen?
Yeah, it's a hard question to answer because I don't remember because I was 3. I was 3 when I started wanting to, apparently.
Yeah.
Um, and really hounding my parents for lessons.
Uh,
Like I was like, please show me what I need to know. Like
yeah.
what we had a piano in the house that belonged to my great grandmother, and that's who my middle name is after, Ida.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so that piano is like, I don't know, I just always felt a connection to it and a draw to it, and I would fiddle around on it and make sounds even when I was 3.
Mm,
So I have no idea why exactly I started, but upon kind of reflecting over the last few years, especially in communication with other people who are in the disabilities community, one friend of mine who's autistic was like, "Oh, you were like advocating for yourself that young. Like you already knew that you needed a language,
yeah.
you know. You already knew that you needed something else."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, that like made me cry. I was like, that's so true. Like how beautiful that, people talk about when they have a baby and watch a child grow, like it has its own spirit and personality already. And I think that's sort of the vibe with music. I just kind of landed with it already going
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
It's interesting that you talk about it as language. I just,
totally.
yeah, put my mic up so anyone listening might hear me better. I was putting the headphone microphone up
Oh, I see. I see. I
instead
see.
of the input. Oh, I don't know, my brain. But yeah, it's funny because we were talking today at a panel, and we were talking about how words can be, words communicate information from the mind,
Mm,
but music is really its own language that is just pure emotion, and
yeah.
not, information in an intellectual way, but rather an emotional kind of visceral
Mm-mm.
bodily way. And
Yeah, like an embodied sensation.
yeah, so it's interesting that, you describe it as your own advocacy,
Language.
your own
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think English, especially. I don't know other languages super well, so I don't know. But like, I don't think it's a particularly effective language in a
Mm,
lot of ways. Like, especially not for someone who is neurodivergent. Like, I think
yeah.
there's a lot of sensation and experiences that are not really encapsulated inside of the language that we've got.
Yeah.
And that's probably true for any other kind of marginalized people within, in relationship to English as well, I imagine. But like coming from, say, a feminist background, which was a big part of my history, like there was the knowledge that like this language has been built by men,
Yeah.
white men,
Yeah.
and inherently infused with all of the sort of difficulties and troubles of our current system,
Yeah.
capitalism. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I don't trust English a lot. I don't think it is a trustworthy medium for just using and for that reason, with one of the things that happens to me is I go hyperverbal and I want to use like a million words all the time. And I've had to learn to go like, oh no, you don't have to explain every little thing. Like sometimes, there's an anxiety for me around wanting words to do enough and them never really doing that for me
I
in
get
social
that.
settings.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that so much.
So music gives it like this whole
Yeah.
other animation
Yeah.
that means that they're not just words that do feel a little bit flaccid to me
Yeah.
most of the time. And I don't know, it's weird to talk about too, because it's like you can't talk about music stuff without becoming a little bit woo-woo, you know.
Yeah.
It is like
I'm down for the woo woo.
it's vibrations and
It's
stuff.
feelings and vibrations.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
but
I mean that stuff sincerely too. Like when you're feeling it, it's hard to talk about because it sounds naff because words are naff. But like when you're doing it, it feels very real. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And when
I
you're listening and all
yeah,
that.
I really have like a great passion for the neuroscience of music, and how it works with the
Mm,
brain, and how it does link with the body and memory, how people in strokes
mm,
can remember the lyrics and actually sing the lyrics to
mm,
songs from their childhood, but they can't speak words. It's a different
mm.
part of the body.
It
It's a
is,
different
yeah, yeah.
brain.
Different sort of relationship to the nervous system. And
Yes.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's super interesting. And I don't think we really know all that much about it.
not enough. And what we do know is just really in studies and books that aren't, publicly known enough, I think.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Should drop some recommendations.
Well, I'm actually working on a film called The Power of Sad Music. I've
Oh,
wasn't meant to
sweet.
actually say that right now, but anyway, we'll
Well, you can edit it
yeah.
out.
But yeah, I'm exploring yeah,
Mm.
neuroscience. So
Amazing.
uh,
I love that stuff. I've always been a bit of a psychology nerd and a philosophy nerd and like
Your Brain on
that's
Music is a good recommendation.
oh, I've heard about that one. Is
Yeah,
that
that's a great one.
Oliver Sacks? Oh
Um,
no, he did Musicophilia.
yes, that's right.
That's a
Yeah.
really good book too. And that beautiful one by David Byrne, How Music Works.
Oh
I love that
yeah.
book. I
Yeah.
think he does a really good one of the main takeaways from that book for me anyway was how much I think about architecture and music now much more than I would have before.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great thing that he kind of brought into the zeitgeist,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I reckon some musicologist would have tried to teach me if I'd stayed at uni, but I'd rather hear it from David Byrne. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I think, producing, do you ever find that it's sort of architectural because you've got to put things
Definitely, it's so
in,
spatial.
it's so spatial and
Mm-hmm.
you need that like center ground and
Mm.
but you need that space around and yeah,
Yeah.
you get
I think of production as being one of the more psychological aspects of music, but you can be more nerdy about it because you can
yeah,
I think so much about like how am I drawing them in? Like how am I pulling them closer? How am I
mm,
expelling them a little bit now? How am I like because also like that never would have even become part of my production methodology also without working with film. Like
mm,
there's a lot about learning about the music visual semiotics, like the relationship between two elements
yeah,
and how those are changed inextricably from each other.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that really started making me think about production a lot differently as well. Especially because you also start thinking a lot more about sound design
yeah,
and the narrative and how it all works together. And
yeah.
it's like the kind of stuff I could talk about for literally hours, you know.
Well, there's one of the things that I mean, we just asked the most, you know, baseline questions, but it really, for me, I really am just genuinely fascinated, by who people's inspirations are, because I think that what we're attracted to in others is reflective of parts of
So
ourselves.
true.
So,
Mm-mm.
who are your first inspirations? You mentioned David Byrne there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't really deny David Byrne's impact on if you grew up in the 90s,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like he's an outlier, like he's a playful idiot, like you know what I mean? Like and
yeah,
I mean that with love and respect and not an
yeah,
ounce of I'm an anti-ableist. Like
yeah,
he personifies something very pure to me
yeah,
that was super important, not just musically, because he introduces the idea of playfulness and silliness and lets you be a bit of a dag,
yeah,
but also as a male role model. Like he, as a trans man, like I don't think there are many men in music that you can really look up to.
yeah, yeah,
Like a lot of them are pretty cooked.
yeah,
And David Byrne's just out there being like an angel and
yeah,
doing amazing cool stuff and like constantly exploring the boundaries and experimenting with performance as well.
yeah,
His live shows are always the best shows, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I just love how much he thinks about everything. And so that really does inspire me. You know, it's not just like, oh, I like Talking Heads, which is true. It's
yeah,
also like his approach to his whole artistic life
yeah,
is interesting to me.
yeah,
And his relationship to his communities is always like you, he's always seeking people to connect with. That's what I gather. I
yeah.
met him once actually, and I made an absolute fool of myself.
Oh, I bet you didn't. I bet you were,
No, I mean, I think it was probably endearing in the
yeah,
end.
yeah,
I pointed at him on the street. I saw him on the
yeah.
street. I pointed at him and went, David Byrne. And
That's
then I went running
amazing.
up to him, like had no control over my body, went running
Where
up to
were
him.
you?
It was in the city in Melbourne. He was doing a show with
Wow.
Saint Vincent. He was in town touring with that album
Hey.
that he did with Saint Vincent.
Yeah.
And so he was just walking on, I think it was Russell Street. And I was with two other amazing Australian singer-songwriters too, Sarah
Oh,
Mary Chadwick and Laura Jean. Do you know Laura Jean's music?
I don't know, but
Oh,
I will be
beautiful. Oh my God.
exploring
If
it
you want to hear, if you want to talk about the sadness, the psychology of sadness in music, you need to hear Laura Jean and Sarah Mary Chadwick, let me tell you.
now.
But they're amazing songwriters. And
Yeah.
so like we were all three there and I went running up to him first and shook his hand breathlessly, just staring at his face. I couldn't even say anything. My hands were sweating like crazy. Like I just I think I said thank you. And then I just ran away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Ran
Laura did
away
some
after I
yeah.
didn't say anything.
Like Laura did, he just sort of stared at me and then eventually started smiling because at first he was a bit like, "Oh no, what's this going to be?" And then he was like, "This guy's just going to stare at me."
It's
Anyways, then Laura said hi, kind of similar. I respect everything you do. She ran off giggling. We both were hiding behind a tree watching, as Sarah Mary Chadwick was just like, "I'm sorry about my friends."
that's so funny.
It was
God,
a, it
I
was.
get pretty shy. Yeah, I might
I don't
never
do
have
that
the
stuff very
guts to
well.
do.
Yeah.
The fact
But
that
it's like
you did
I've
it
been
all
really
is,
lucky because some of my other main influences are like I won't go on about each of them quite as much as I did, but
Mhm.
broadcast I mean I get hung shit on based on how much I've always been obsessed with broadcast. Like people are always like, "Oh, broadcast is the only band you care about ever." And I'm like, "Well, they're pretty damn good." And I got to tour with them so just before Trish passed away. So it was like kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
she's kind of embedded in my bones now in
Mm.
this way that's like already was really deep. Like I'd been waiting for them to tour to Australia for like 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
And then she finally gets here. We have this amazing tour and then she passed away. So like
Wow.
every time I'm writing a song, I'm thinking about Trish a little bit.
Yeah.
And um yeah, and there's other local artists like that have got a similar effect.
Yeah.
Um Like Sean Baxter. Did you ever meet Sean?
I've been in LA for way too many
You've been a long
years.
time, yeah. He's an incredible experimental drummer,
Yeah.
really big part of Melbourne because he and his partner Annalie Koenig started Make It Up Club, which is like this 25-year experimental improvisational evening of music that's been going every Tuesday for 25 years.
Wow. That's
Mm,
amazing.
yeah.
So
But
your
there's all kinds of I
community,
mean, I don't even know where to start. Debussy, Ravel, like there's
yeah,
so many like it's always been for me, I'll have a year or two being obsessed with some piece of music or a person
yeah,
for that period, and then I'll move on to something else, and then I'll come back to it. And you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's never really been just one guy.
yeah. But it's interesting, like just thinking about influences and inspirations. I think that people can become um like a mythical template of what's possible. People in the public
Mm-mm.
eye, or people that have
Mm.
hit a kind of collective consciousness point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
that's so true.
and I think that this can be um really life-changing to have someone that's an inspiration like that. And I think that it can also be very wounding to not have. So,
Mm.
for example, you talk about feminism and and also being a producer. So that's a wound for me is that I always have to explain to people, you know,
Mm.
that I can be a woman and a producer as well, and not having like a role model or a template for that. And as a
Mm.
trans man, how is there a template of a person? I'm not
Not really, no.
words
I mean,
now.
like, but no, you're doing great. I totally got where you were going. And like, I think it's like for me, there's never been an exact role model of
Hmm.
like my who I saw myself as
Hmm.
gender wise because I just didn't really even know what I was.
Yeah.
But now that I do, I suppose for a fair few years before I started Christine from Christine and the Queens, Chris, I think
Hmm.
now.
Yeah.
um, was definitely a big influence because I like their intensity, the
Yeah.
intensity with which they perform.
Yeah.
But I suppose for producing, yeah, I don't know. I mean, local people, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of really amazing producers in Melbourne who are of my um time period,
Yeah.
who are kind of my contemporaries,
Yeah.
who I really look to them to go, that's possible. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's the experience of a lot of trans people that like you're not sure who your role models are until you kind of decide for yourself what you're doing or
Yeah.
something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess I'm also like I think in a lot of ways that did affect my confidence when I was younger more when I thought of myself as a woman. I do think
Mm.
there's something specific about misogyny that makes
Hmm.
it harder, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But and it's almost like there's so much joy and euphoria in finding myself as a trans man that I'm just finding confidence all the time
Mm.
that I did not have before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think the need for role models at my age is less of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just adapt to what's available, I guess.
Yeah. And well, you become your own kind of archetype as well. You get to like
Mm,
structure who you are. But I think people's voices being heard and stories being told and,
mm,
cinema has such a huge impact, I think, on the psyche. Um,
true.
I think for this exact reason that you get to process yourself through what you see. I just think it's
Mm,
so important for diverse voices to be heard
I
and
agree. Yeah. I
embraced.
mean, it's so basic. It should be basic. It should be basic. It's ridiculous that we're
Yeah,
even still having to talk about it. I saw the
it
like
really is.
yeah. I saw like the like nominations for the APRA soundtracking awards. Um and it's weird because like you can see them trying like with the TV
I
awards.
can't believe you just said that because I had the exact same
Did
reaction.
you?
I
I
did. We
actually
don't even
posted
have to
underneath.
say words.
I actually posted underneath. I
You
was
did. I
like,
did. I missed
how's
that.
the
I was like,
diversity? I think I wrote, how's the diversity or something like that. But like, but it's weird because with
yeah.
the TV awards, the TV soundtrack awards, you've seen they've hooked up all these cis white guys with all these up and coming people of color or women,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Which is great for both those people and for the cis white guys. I'm
Yeah.
happy for them all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
it's like then you get to
tried.
the film bit, and it's just cis white men. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
It's like
didn't
it's
get that
interesting.
far into it actually. I didn't see that
It just
connection.
comes up in my feed for whatever reason. And
Mm.
I don't even care about that sort of thing, like awards and all of those sorts of things have always been kind of
It matters though because of
it
this.
matters for
The
your
because of the
resume and that.
well, I think it matters because it shows other people what's possible and what's normal. And
Yeah, I
if
guess so.
you don't have I think representation just matters. I just really
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
believe in representation. And I
Mm,
think that it enriches us when we
yeah.
experience
Get
other
different
people.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. People's
Yeah.
perspectives. Having empathy for a broad source of humanity is like would be pretty great for the world right now.
It very great for the world right now. But also just creatively and artistically, how are you going to grow if you're not enriching the pool from what you are eating and consuming? Like
Mm.
broaden that and open
Yeah,
that
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of inspiration to be gathered from others, and if it's all the
Yeah,
same kind of
yeah, yeah.
representation, it sort of becomes a little. We have an event here that's where all of the big composers do an orchestral piece, and I could not believe that this year it was just it was a yeah, there was no representation there.
It
I'll
was
just
just
say that. Yeah,
men. Mm.
yeah.
Damn.
So, and that was pretty surprising. So, yeah, it's a weird thing because at the same time that just seems so boring and old
It
and
is really boring. And I mean, I
very
spent so long talking about it. I had a real good hard crack at feminism in music.
yeah,
I gave it a good 3.5 years.
yeah,
That was really difficult. It
yeah,
was not I feel like people who can maintain an activist sort of pursuit actively 24 hours a day like I was at that time for longer than 2 years, it's mind-boggling to me. Like I
Yeah.
look at because living on that, we're already living a little bit on the edge because
Yeah.
we're musicians, because
Yeah.
like music people are not really necessarily, we don't work in capitalism actually,
Yeah.
not really. And but then on top of that, to be kind of, wait, I've lost my train of thought. Where was I going?
To be living also like completely involved in trying to actively change
Oh,
societal
exactly. Yeah,
standards.
see, I dissociate when I think about this period of
Yeah.
time. Like
Same,
it was really, and
same
like, did you
thought.
see that? I was like, whoa.
Like,
I swear it's not the weed. I'm not even, but like, I only had two puffs, but like it's crazy because it's not good for your nervous system at all,
no.
and and your body does protest eventually, to
And I
doing
think
that
at
kind
the
of
end of the
stuff.
day, joy is going to be a lot more powerful.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
if you can create spaces joyful of joyful
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we did
diversity
do
and
that a lot in this
representation.
in
Yeah.
this in this feminist stuff. We were doing all these shows, and all those things were like the bit that sustained me.
Mm,
The social, like
yeah.
seeing more people performing, seeing more people finding confidence on stage and stuff like that was the good
Yeah.
stuff. But then having to do all the Facebook moderating and
Yeah.
just dealing with the amount of like I became a bit of a lightning rod for like people's relationship issues in the communities.
Mm.
And that became sort of, I was like, wow, I'm not at all trained to be a therapist. And I'm also being asked to be by like so many people that I hardly, I just know to say hi at gigs. It wasn't
Yeah.
like we're close, with close people, of course, I'm going to hear everything and be ready to hear it. But it was a
Yeah.
bit like all coming at me at once.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been real hangovers from that period of time for me.
Yeah.
It's been a lot to recover from.
Well, now you have this, I guess, greater sense of self and greater sense of what brings you joy in identity and as who you are. And so
Yeah, yeah,
you can
definitely. I
really
wouldn't have
celebrate that now.
yeah, I don't know how soon I would have realized my gender stuff if I hadn't been I
Yeah.
was really thrust right into the middle of a lot of discussion about gender. So it
Mm.
was definitely good for that too. And like you can't unbake a cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where we're at.
Yeah. We were talking about, before we started the podcast, I was, mentioning that I love hearing about the themes of people's work and themes that come up for them. What
Mm.
what themes do you feel like this is one? Like, is gender identity one of the themes for you musically, or is that just something
No,
you've
yeah,
dealt
sorry.
with and put aside? Yeah, no, go for it.
I always interrupt you before you finished. I
No,
apologize. But
that's
it's I'll blame the ADHD. But the I feel like for me themes around gender have more been like an embodied performance that I didn't know I was doing. So it's
yeah,
it's really clear when I look back on it now
yeah,
that, I was playing drums in thrash bands, and when I was doing that I had this real strong sense of wanting to succeed at being masculine.
yeah. Okay.
And obviously drummers are not inherently masculine,
Yeah.
or I mean, it was at a time where I was one of the only drummers who was not a guy,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I knew
Yeah.
at the time. Um, but like there was something about that felt really good, like being that masculine role. But then unfortunately within the punk and the hardcore communities and stuff, I didn't necessarily feel them treating me how I wanted to be treated. Like I was
Mm.
definitely being treated like a woman and like a too emotional, too weird, whatever. So then I went full swing to doing Pikelet, which was very much me being like, I'm going to play with femininity as an
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like a regression to a childhood femininity, even. Like it was kind of inherently non-sexual, and it was sort of fey and pretty and a bit twee.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was kind of me being like, is this what a girl is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that was really fun too, but at some point that felt wrong. And so it was
Yeah.
like, oh, and kind of partly I think because I was trying to react against this masculine stuff into a feminine
Yeah.
thing. So it's
Yeah.
like these swings.
Yeah.
And then I feel like when I landed on this sort of solo Evelyn Ida Morris material, that was like, wow, this is the non-binary voice. Like this is
Mm,
new for me. This feels more genuine. It feels more direct.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then since then I've been I don't know. I don't know if there's any gender in it now. I've been trying to sing like a crooner though.
Maybe
But
there's
that's
like
kind of
a authenticity, like a, just following the,
well, yeah, and it's also training my voice and like and again like finding role models and finding
yeah,
things to play with
yeah.
because the one of the hardest things, maybe the only hard thing for me about taking testosterone has been the voice change because it was very like
Mm,
it's just so emotional. It's just hard to not be emotional about it. Like
yeah,
your voice is so emotional when you're singing. It's so connected to that stuff we were talking about earlier,
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
that kind of life source, whatever subconscious, blah blah blah.
yeah.
And it's like I'm trying. I was for a long period the last couple of years. I've been trying to sing, and every time I try to sing, I just start crying because
Mm,
it's like either not quite working how I want and it's unpredictable and that feels startling,
yeah,
or because it's breaking,
yeah.
or it sounds so much like I want it to sound that I'm just overjoyed and like weeping.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's been really interesting. So lately I've been singing along to crooners because like they embody this vulnerability and strength and like sort of quiet emotionality.
Yeah.
Um, and I've just been practicing singing along with them and dancing with them and letting all the tears flow. And
And
it's
which
been a really,
crooners is it?
this is going to sound silly because I'm always embarrassed to say it, but it's mainly Perry Como.
Okay. Perry Como. I don't even think I've
But like,
heard of.
okay, you have to hear me out because like if you
Okay.
listen to the lyrics of these songs, like he is
Yeah.
considered an easy listening guy.
Okay.
And I would say that I disagree with that because
Yeah.
if you listen to the contents of his lyrics, it's heart-wrenching. It's
Yeah.
brutal. It's
Yeah.
like, and then he's also doing this thing where he's singing into the like golden years of his life as well, you know. There's
Yeah.
not many men that sing into middle-aged and like give you the content of that wisdom in
I
their
was
singing.
thinking about this today, actually. I was thinking because I'm sorry, I'm going to piss people off by saying this, but whatever. Just the new Rolling Stones stuff.
I've always hated the Rolling Stones. You're not gonna piss me off.
Okay, it just really it just gets on my nerves. It's so like don't get angry with me. Like what?
I'm never gonna listen to that ever in my
Yeah,
life.
I kind of just don't know. It feels like a very boring old aged perspective of relationships where there's some person they're in a relationship with who's nagging them.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just very like baffled as to why like you would
At like
even
70, why is he singing
yeah,
about
why is he
80 or whatever?
singing like and then I don't know, I just felt this very just annoyed energy about it. But then I thought about people like Leonard Cohen or people like David Bowie and people like Scott Walker who
Mm.
who moved into that territory with
Scott Walker is so another idol of mine, big time.
absolutely me too. Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah, and that's a person that moved into that space with just so much power and grace and just beauty and elegance.
True, true, true.
And
Leonard Cohen's kind of the boss of that, really. He was the boss of that.
yeah,
I toured with him. Did I tell you that?
no, I did not know that.
It's my
That's so
favorite name drop.
cool.
I think it's funny because I act like I'm embarrassed to drop it, but I feel like I've probably talked about it on every interview I've ever done because it's like it was such a life-changing
I live in
experience
America. It's very normal to
to name drop. Oh yeah,
yeah, we
true.
have
It's
the
very cringy here.
yeah.
Very, you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine over here.
Mm. I
Say
do think though,
uh,
like it's actually fine here. It's just that you have
yeah.
to be okay with copying a tiny bit of shit if you big
Yeah.
yourself up. Like you just have to be able to go like when your friend turns around and goes like, "Ooh, it's fun cool," then you
But
have to
it's
be able to be
actually
like,
an
you have to be able
accomplishment.
to be like, "Yeah, I did, and it was boss." Don't know.
Yeah. I think that's a really good thing. And I think,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. There's nothing wrong with embracing how fun that is, I think.
I mean, like,
Unless
I
you're
never
threatened by
expected
it,
that
unless
to
someone's
be.
threatened by it. I feel like there's
Yeah, no,
a
it's
sense
like
of
also
like,
like the people maybe have
but
the
you
wrong
don't,
idea of the intention of it sometimes.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's it. Whereas
yeah.
like here, I think it's it's intended in a super joyful way, like
Yeah, that's kind of how I mean it.
excited,
It's like,
joyful way.
whoa, check
Yeah,
this out. Because
I know.
like it was so like I never expected that to be on my bingo card kind of vibes,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah, it's fun. It's cool and
just
it's
like
a great thing
wild.
to celebrate. Yeah.
And it was also like, cool things happened on the tour. It wasn't just like we got to tour with him. It was like we got to go in his private jet and
Oh,
like
oh, wow.
I got to go in the cockpit of the private jet because
Oh
they
my
were all like they were a really nice touring team. Like they'd all been touring together for like 13 years or something.
God.
Not 13,
Yeah,
three.
yeah. Three. Close.
But they were just so sweet. I
Yeah.
think they were all a little bit like cabin feverish, like they'd been touring all
Mm,
together for so long that like
yeah.
me and the performer I was playing in her band, her name's Claire Bowditch. I
Mhm.
was opening for Leonard in her act, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
And
does.
and it was just the two of us at these big stadiums and she was like playing guitar and singing and I was doing like everything else.
Yeah.
like drums, SPD, like triggering samples, like keyboard looping, singing. I was doing everything. It was crazy.
Andrew and I have done that before because I play bass and he plays drums, but then we'll also
Totally.
have his guitar and we'll also have
Yeah.
cello and
I
yeah,
mean, a multi-instrumentalist's gotta use those skills.
yeah, yeah,
It's frustrating that you then end up having to carry more gear than everyone else, but
yes, yes.
you don't have to worry
Um,
about that on a Leonard Cohen tour though, because they just take care of it. They're
that
such a good team.
that is
Oh
nice.
wait, no, maybe I did load my gear off stage. I can't remember.
But
Anyway.
yeah, crooners, I guess that's I like
Well, yeah, like Leonard Cohen was able to make almost everyone in the whole front row of every show. We did 9 shows together. Almost the whole two front rows were always crying,
yeah.
always weeping. Like,
Which means the rest of the audience was probably
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I cried at most of them. Like, like it sounds like I'm crying all the time, but like I'm not. It's rare for me nowadays. But when that tour, it was like you just can't
I'm
really deny
Chilean
that, guys.
Italian. Crying is like, how
Yeah,
you
it's good
say
for you.
hello.
It's really, yeah, it's really good for you.
Yeah.
I think people I think talking about crying is fun too because I do think that people need to know that it's more normal than like men have taught us.
Yeah,
I'm really going off on men today, but like actually one of the other cool things about being a trans guy is that I've fallen in love with masculinity. I've
yeah,
found the things about it that I do love. And so
yeah,
I can love men in a way that I didn't at all
yeah,
have the capacity to do before.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I hang shit on men, but I guess I'm hanging shit on the structures rather than the people,
yeah,
if that makes
because it's interesting. Again, today we were just talking about like, it's just reminding me of an earlier conversation. We were just talking about how strange it is to be a woman. This was with Freya Berker. We were talking at a panel today about being a female composer and in a time with in a time such as now and
in a world,
in a world. But then also at the end of the day we're like it's just as hard for men and it's just as hard for everyone and
Everyone is kind
everyone.
of up against it right now. It's true.
Yeah, and also
No
like,
one's having a rad time.
yeah, and being a composer is just down the line hard for everyone. And some people are
Mm,
assholes and some people are nice. And that's not really
mm,
a gender based thing.
mm.
A lot of the time, in my experience, it's just
No, yeah, I've had a lot of women be jerks to me as well.
yeah, it's yeah. And I love women and I love men and I'm, very you know,
It's a
I
hate the
live
game,
in
not the
a,
player thing.
a
It's a hate
bi
the game.
space. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You're
okay.
living in a bi space. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm and so yeah, I think there's just, beauty there
Hmm.
in all of the ways.
Yeah.
But
And
anyway.
I also have two really beautiful brothers who I
Hmm.
grew up with
That's
who are
nice.
like sweet, sweet angel nerd men. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Just like nerdy, sweet humans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my dad's turned out to be pretty good, all right, in the end too.
That's
Took him a while.
nice. That's that's a nice to have a nice it must be nice to have a nice dad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will not comment
He's a
further.
my dad's like one of those dads that like became supportive of was really anti me doing music. And
Oh,
that took me a long time to get over because he came up real poor. So he was like, "You're
mm,
not doing music, like get fucked."
yeah.
He was just like,
But
I
that's
do
it
not
was love
want to see. Yeah, but I didn't feel
because
it that
he
way at the
loved
time.
you.
But yeah, now I do see it.
Yeah.
He was kind of like the one job I have is to make sure that you survive kind
Yeah.
of vibe. He
Yeah.
didn't have the language for it because he's also probably autistic, but
Yeah.
you know, he's over the years heard me on the radio enough times now that he's like, all right, I'm proud of you. Okay.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's just not the kind of dad that would like come to gigs or like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's good. You gotta have your own space.
You do have to have your own space. It is nice to have that.
Yeah. Because I want to be a freak on stage
Yeah. Yeah.
more and more these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is always conversational, isn't it? Because my mum is here. But my mum's always a bigger freak than me.
That's awesome. My mum's the same, actually. My mum's always been flying the freak flag for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she does come to some of the things that we do, but she's just always the craziest. I'm always
That's
having to correct
cool.
her.
Yeah, right. So maybe you were parentified young.
Um, yeah, yes, we'll go into
Me too.
my
Me too.
trauma.
Me too.
That is definitely
I think I think though that like
very young, yeah. You become like
there's
what we are now though, right? Which is
yes.
good at
Well, I for me the biggest
community
change
things.
no, I listen to a lot of podcasts like do you know that one by that couples therapy podcast? I
No.
listen to heaps of podcasts where people talk about relationships. So that's why I think
Oh,
I'm
wow.
leaning towards this stuff because I also think relationships are maybe the hardest thing about life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but one thing I love about music to bring it back is the I've lately been thinking about all of the processes of making art and I'm making films at the moment with dancers. So I've been researching choreography, partly because I'm like interested in embodiment stuff that we're talking about with music and like
Yeah.
wanting to find visual language for that. So
Mm,
I've got a 5-channel, multi-channel film work that's 5 different solo dance works that have all been developed out of a song that I wrote that I am struggling to like release. So I'm struggling to release it partly because I'm struggling to sing. So it's like, you
mm,
know, I've had to find this other route to just kind of keep exploring. And I'm obsessed with dance. I've worked with dancers for 15 years, maybe 10 to 15 years. And like, there's something magic about dance as well that's
absolutely.
super hard to describe and so yeah I've really delved into trying but to bring it back to relationships is that it's almost like I've started to learn that as an autistic person part of my methods always have been in collaboration to have a safe way to explore relationships, have a safe way
Mhm.
to explore sharing things that we're vulnerable about and like building trust and all these things that you do in collaborative relationships,
Yeah.
but they're less potent because you're not going, this is just about you or me. This is about this thing we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been really enjoying just learning about relationships through art and music as
Do you
well.
think that's kind of a core thing that's there with
Totally.
this? Because even if you go beyond, yeah, beyond every layer, that's it would make sense that that is a theme that's at the core of it all.
Mm.
That
Just
there's
wanting
no
connection for sure.
connection. Yeah,
Mm.
connection. Yeah.
Wanting connection, but also having like a lot of fear and uncertainty around how to get it,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think is a big driving factor for me. I don't know if it is for all music people, but yeah, like feeling sort of stuck behind a series of sort of walls or barriers with people. So then being like, well, if I can bridge that,
Mm.
But subconsciously you don't know you're doing it. But I guess that's why it's interested me lately to explore it more explicitly
Yeah.
and
And
like write
dance is
about
a
it. And
real way of exploring that as well.
yeah, and you have to be really careful with boundaries
Yeah.
with dancers because like their energy levels can be something you have to be quite conscious of. And also I just think, you're hijacking someone's body kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I feel quite conscious of trying to make sure that I'm managing like their involvement and their interest and their consent and their
Mm-hmm.
like curiosity and creativity. I want them to be a human dancing, not like a body. So there's so much to learn, and it's been really eye-opening. And also just cross collaborating with different fields.
Yeah.
You learn heaps about your own field as well.
Are you working with others on the visual elements, or are you working in the visual space as well?
I mean, I had a cinematographer, amazing cinematographer who worked with
Yeah.
me called Mish.
Mhm.
Um, and Mish is, I always mispronounce their surname, so I'm not going to try.
Okay. Okay.
We might have to put it in later. But because it's Eastern European and I
Yeah.
have a real hard time with Eastern European names. I'm apologizing in advance, Mish.
Mm.
But they did some of the filming for me, but ultimately I'm editing everything together myself. I taught myself how to edit film.
Yay.
It's pretty similar to editing audio, I think, so it
Yeah.
was not so hard.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, and
So
it's been a
funny.
really long
When
process,
you were
but
here, we talked about in 2019, we talked about video editing.
did
Um,
we?
And you were like, there's a thing called TikTok. And I had never heard of it at the time.
Really?
I
Did
was,
I introduce you to
you
TikTok?
did. Yeah.
I'm so
Sorry. I just
sorry.
had a flashback to that. I still don't know how to use it because social media is like, eek.
No, no, no. Yeah, I don't actually use TikTok anymore. I was using it for like 5 minutes because I was like, I want to see what this is about.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is dangerous. I am going to fall into this rabbit hole and never come back. You know,
Um, yeah, we have a great person that works with us, Hinata.
that's good.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
handy.
she's
I kind
great
of like
at
using
TikTok.
Instagram, but I think I'll never be a TikTok guy.
I'm an
I think you have to
Instagrammer
be,
too.
yeah, you
Yeah.
have to be incredibly creative and sort of across the language of TikTok, I think, to be good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's its own art form and
Yeah, I
language.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic person.
She is TikTok.
Well, no, Hinata is I'm just, I know she's gonna edit some snippets of this for TikTok, so
Oh,
so this may
that's awesome.
this may become a meta conversation
I
in
want
some
some
on
focus to be on this elephant.
you know what? That
Do a
elephant is
Zoom.
so cute and actually
That
has drawn my eye.
watering can recently I purchased it to because I've started sprouting my own marijuana plants and I wanted just a nice gentle spray of water for them.
Um,
And I found that and I was like, that's perfect.
yeah, sorry, I drew us into other directions with the TikTok thing. But
That's okay.
yeah, video editing. So what soft? I'm a bit of a nerd on this.
I've been using Premiere. I
Premiere.
have no
Yeah.
idea if that's like good or bad or it was
No,
just
it's
the one
good.
that
Yeah. I I just am always curious people's experiences with it. I think
I think
editing
it's
that
I don't
sometimes
like I don't love it. I find it you have to look it's very small. Like
mm,
there's a lot of really small things on it. I
yeah.
know you can zoom them, but I think maybe I would like to have a separate screen. Anyway, I'm going to do a residency soon at this place called the Substation in
Okay.
western suburbs of Melbourne. Um, and there I'm going to have 5 screens and like properly edit them
Mm,
together. And the idea is that like each of them will then have new music that's generated from the choreography.
mm,
And that will become like a score that's coming from each screen and it's all mixed together, if that makes sense.
awesome.
So I'm calling it like reactive composition,
Yeah.
and it's a concept I've been working on for a while, but I also think it's like everything's reactive, so it's kind of a gag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah.
so good. I wish I could see it.
Yeah, well, I'll try
Being
and
on
there'll be lots of
the
documentation, and I'll
line.
send you bits of it too. Like I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
watch it.
it's gonna be and for me, like it's so funny going into a time like a different field, really, in a way. I'm kind of going into doing installations and
Yeah,
then really different kind of performance works. And that's been a real journey trying to like not bust into that field, but it's been more like I'm really just following what makes me curious and
yeah,
going, that performer really makes me curious. Why? Why did that show make me cry? Like, why? What was it about that person's movement and that particular show? And I'm just following every thread and just enjoying that process.
yeah,
Because I've just over the years learned that it's like the only way to keep going, to sustain it, is to be like, I love this process.
yeah,
I love getting up every day and improvising on my piano. That's easy.
yeah,
So I can do that every day. And it's like I'm just really just doing what I like now. I think it's part of becoming more comfortable as a trans guy because or a trans person or any of your identity that you step into. Like you sometimes just hit a stride where you're like,
yeah,
I think I know at least what I want to do. You
yeah.
know, so it's like super exciting time for me.
I think, joy is a real indicator that you're on the right track as well.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
You wake up every morning and improvising on the piano is feels good, then that's probably going to take you where you need to go. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like also in a way, I think everyone should be finding their own creative methods to sort of heal as we go, process as we go right now.
yeah,
There's a lot that we need to be processing. There's a lot that we're going to be feeling for a long time.
yeah,
And our children's children will be feeling,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a heavy time. And
yeah.
so it's like if you can still find joy in your craft,
Processing is joy, though.
yeah, that's
I
so
think one of
true.
the most sickening things is having to stop yourself from crying.
Mm,
And one of the most sickening things is just shutting down anger or shutting down kind of
mm,
any negative emotion. How is an emotion I don't know. To me, positive, negative on that front is kind of insane because um fear can save your life. Um,
true. They're
and
all just like sensations. They're all
they're all
just
sense that
experiences.
it's your body.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
it's
mm, mm.
being embodied means feeling these things, and when you let your body feel them, it's joyful. It's
Yeah,
really
that's so
feels really
true.
good. I remember
That's
seeing,
so true.
yeah, Diamanda Galas talked
You love that performer. I feel like we've talked about her before, right?
yeah,
Mm-mm.
probably. Yeah, she
Yeah,
talks
yeah.
does this real heavy grief work, and someone in the
Mm,
audience was like, I'm sorry you have to go through that. And but thank you for the gift that you give us for being able to, use your music to process stuff. And she was like, no, hang on a minute. I love screaming. I love crying this stuff out. I love, she was like, this is joyful for me. Um,
mm. Yeah, totally.
and
Especially because
yeah,
it is something that's kind of contraband in public. You're
yeah,
not
yeah.
contra I don't know if that's the right word.
No, it's a perfect word for it. I love that.
It's like not you're not allowed to scream and cry and like, there's
Yeah,
a precedent of ableism
yeah,
around behaviors,
yeah,
emotional behaviors. And so, yeah, I think someone like her really making sure people know that that's a joyful act is also really powerful. Because it's
yeah.
like, I also felt that way when I used to play thrash drums. And like, this is
Mm.
the thrash musical. I was in this band, True Radical Miracle, and I
Mhm.
love this band so much. Like, the guitarist would do this crazy noise stuff. The vocalist was a really aggressive front person, but also a very buttoned down kind of like teacher type. So then he'd get up there and be really angry and intense, and everyone would be like, "Whoa." um, the bass player was just very like melodic, like very much influenced by shellac. Had that same
Mm.
metal
Yeah,
necked bass guitar,
yeah,
And anyways, like I would play drums in that band, and I wouldn't really even want to listen to that kind of music,
yeah,
at home. But playing it was like,
yeah,
oh, the best feeling in the world. Like
yeah,
every angry sort of sensation I had, I could just like put it out, and I miss it. I do really miss it actually. I was devastated when the guitarist quit that band.
Mm, yeah.
Truly. We even got to tour the west coast of America, which is, as a punk band, can be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, definitely. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Sorry if I'm waffling too much.
No, I love it. It's awesome. Yeah, I think, you know, just permission to be embodied, it's that feels like a theme of this
Yeah,
conversation.
totally.
Just permission to be embodied as whatever gender orientation feels right, permission to be embodied
Mm,
in feeling, permission to be embodied in voice, permission to be
mm,
embodied in
so true.
space. And yeah, I
And it's interesting that
love
it's
that.
like you use the word permission because it's like
Contribute.
where did where did we get the idea that we need to ask permission to do stuff with our own bodies? You know, like
Yeah,
that sort of stuff is wild. We need to talk about that. Like,
religion.
yeah, true. But it's also, I feel like for me, and not like I think that being autistic or ADHD is like my whole personality. Obviously, like it's a small, it's been a useful framework for me to understand myself. But
Yeah,
obviously, I'm more than just a diagnosis,
yeah,
and everyone can, inhabit these labels however they like. But
yeah.
for me, it's been really useful because it's a way of recognizing how much I've been shaped by shame pointed at me. Like
Mm,
inherent kind of social cues that
yeah,
are kind of like, oh, you're being too much, or,
yeah.
like, or, you're being too excited, you're
Mm,
being too happy, like being too happy is the thing I've been like, chill down. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
I'm like, I'm having a bad time.
yeah. Isn't that funny though? How people
Mm,
can be equally uncomfortable
mm,
with too happy as too anything,
yeah.
And that's really about um I'm gonna say the
People being afraid of
word
extremes or
permission
something.
again, but permission that people give themselves to be embodied.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's
There are
it.
just like micro shutdowns happening all the time.
Mm,
And it's really funny because I'm gonna just this is gonna be a real open podcast. Um
love it.
but I went to this trauma camp.
Oh
And
wow.
I was like, I am having so many things come up. I need to go and be hospitalized almost. So I went to this place
Mm.
that was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was called On Site, and I highly recommend it to everyone and anyone for anything at all that you need to process. But you're spending a week doing experiential trauma therapy, which means you're acting things out with props, and
I love that stuff though, because it's so real.
it's so, and somehow this pen is really symbolizing, I don't know, something. And you're watching and crying as other people are doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
And you end up crying nonstop for a week with all of this
Sounds intense.
intense emotion because you're watching, there was someone there whose husband shot himself in front of her after almost shooting
Oof.
her. And and it was just, and she made me him in the role model scenario. And
Okay, I
she
feel like that's where I
showed
would have drawn the
me,
line.
well, the thing is, it's like there's this really weird gift in being part of it. Someone
Sure, yeah,
else
yeah.
chose me as their baby. It's just like, it's
It
really,
sounds incredible.
it's so
And it sounds like potentially
amazing.
very funny as well. Like,
It's funny, it's fun, it was just fantastic. It was just really, but you're feeling everything to the extreme. And they had the that Inside Out movie from
I
Disney.
love that movie.
Yeah, they have those feelings on the wall, and they're like, you would every time you walk into the room, they're like, pick how you feel. We're doing check-ins. The whole experience. You can do this at home if you
Mm,
just do check-ins with yourself. How do I feel right
true.
now?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what the main thing was, like, how do I feel? And so
Mm.
you would go between I'm feeling happy but also anxious. So you would step between them. You know,
Ah,
I'm fearful but excited. And so
love that.
you could have these contradictory feelings. That was fine. You would just find your space. Anyway,
Mm.
when Andrew picked me up from the airport afterwards because I went to Nashville to do it. When he picked me up, he was like, "Your face was unrecognizable because there was no tension in my face, I was like,
Wow.
how, like I could feel it talking to him. Like I
You're
could
like, I'm really happy.
yeah, I could feel the micro tensions in his face.
Oh,
In
you were like
his
noticing it in him.
Yeah, and I was
Interesting.
noticing how I had to micro tense myself to fit into normal society. Like they had to warn us about this.
Mm.
They're like, don't make any life choices for the next 3 months.
That's good that they prepare you for that, though.
Yeah, and I realized from that experience how much we restrict in our bodies from a lack of safety to be who we are.
Mm.
And just
And also just like we're always trying to pick up on what other people are going through and then
yeah,
manage ourselves in response. Like
that's right. Yeah.
that's I think one of the things
Hypervigilant,
that
hypervigilant.
it's a type of hypervigilance. Like some of us have it more than others,
Yeah.
obviously. But
Yeah.
I do think in a way that a big part of just unpacking capitalism from your own body and brain is like allowing yourself not to control that stuff as much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you were talking about sounds a lot like and like these sort of like accessibility tools that I've also been
Yeah.
taught. Like a lot of autistic people will use, or especially if they're nonverbal, will use color cues for their feelings
Ah, that's awesome.
and they're also extremely excellent for navigating consent and stuff because there are colors you can choose that are like, I don't know what I'm feeling, so I'm not ready to talk yet. Or,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, which
That's
I think is so cool. And if you can set that up with people,
excellent. Yeah.
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 Because it would be great if there was just structured ways for everyone to say like exactly how they're feeling. You know, it's one of the main frustrations for me is that you can't just say how you're feeling without other people being like, "Oh, do I have to fix that now?" Or like how am I implicated in that? You know,
Mm.
there needs to be more of a vibe of like, you just feel what you feel. Okay, good. I get that.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Yeah.
feeling what I feel here. And like we're both doing it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
We're
There's
not
all this
we're not very educated on being human, I think.
No, exactly.
Society.
Exactly. And it's like especially I feel like
We're
you
animals
know,
and feelings are a big part of that animal structure, right? And in how
yeah, yeah.
mentally capable we are as well. Like, I know some political leaders that could do with some
Well, no, it's like I
emotion
think
education. Yeah.
a lot of those kinds of guys, if they had been equipped with the right emotional tools, I think would not be wreaking havoc on the earth, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's a form of sociopathy. I mean, there's an element of capitalism that's just pure sociopathy, right? Um,
Or encourages us to disengage from feeling for other people, for sure.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
There was an interesting study of some sort that I heard where people getting more and more successful took on more and more sociopathic traits, and I think.
Um,
If we just understand how to name feelings, be in our body, learn about the amygdala and being triggered and how it shuts down uh,
yeah.
frontal cortex. Like being triggered literally makes you incapable of thinking rationally anymore.
I know, I wish I'd known that when I was younger. And like even in my last relationship, you know what I mean? Because it's like
Yeah,
you'll spend these hours and hours arguing over something, thinking you're going to have a solution.
yeah,
But actually you're both if one or both of the people are triggered, like you should talk later.
yeah. Talk later, wait half an hour. Yeah,
Yeah, go for a walk, have a shower. You know,
yeah,
I wish I'd known that stuff when I was younger.
yeah. Yeah, being in the world right now as it is, we started to kind of touch on the political element earlier too, just and in a sense of and that God, I really don't know
I
how.
can't believe you're doing so well because you already did a panel talk today.
I did. It was
If I had
3
done that
hours
much
in the sun
talking,
too.
oh my goodness.
But I tend to, as soon as I have the focus of the mic and I can hear my voice in my ears, my brain shuts down. It's just like this thing that happens when I'm conversational. I don't notice it, but
Mm,
once I can hear myself, I'm
it's
hyper.
a meta thing. It's kind of
Yeah,
meta. Yeah.
I become hyper
Interesting.
aware of it. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
how do you feel in the world today? Safety, all of that kind of in the realm, say for example, we're talking about you coming and doing some shows in LA, and you mentioned, you don't know if you want to come over here. And
Well, I just feel like
would blame
also
you.
though so like I used to have this really strong pull to America.
Yeah,
And I think it was partly just the sense that there's a bigger market, there would have been more potential for a career.
yeah,
Um, and I feel like probably a lot of people feel that way. But now it's a bit like, like when with like Putin, for example,
yeah,
is over there, he's been over there being anti-gay forever, right?
yeah,
And a lot of people I know will not travel to Russia and perform because they're like, well, it's
yeah,
not that it's not safe for them essentially. Like, especially I could probably pass. I could cover
yeah,
up my facial hair. I could,
yeah,
but like, but it's more of a, I don't know if I want to endorse the situation, you know? But
yeah,
I don't know if I feel scared. I don't know if how I will feel in America until I go there. But
yeah,
it's weird that like what I know is true is that the more that there is just random conversation about our lives,
mm,
the more that I walk around going, I wonder what that person's thinking.
mm,
Like if I go to the gym and I see, so one of the things about testosterone, it makes you really horny, just
mhm.
so you know.
Yeah,
There's a little bit of context. And I've like come out as being like a very gay man since studying
mhm.
testosterone and just been obsessed with boys.
Yeah,
And I go to the gym and I'm like, you stare at people, you have little eyes and stuff. And like I feel different when a guy's giving me eyes at the gym if I've just heard Trump say something fucking cooked about us.
yeah,
Because I'm like, well, is he looking at me because he wants to have sex with me, or is he looking at me because he's like, is that a trans guy? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, is
yeah.
he looking at me trying to assess like what's
I
going
have
on?
that all the time as a Latin person.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, I can't exactly imagine, but it's like
Yeah.
that sort of
Well, it's the
sense of
same.
paranoia.
You just described it perfectly. So
Yeah, right,
yeah,
right.
in a way, it's we live in
Because
a
not knowing what people think is scary. And then you add the
yeah,
flavors, you add these flavors in the air, and
yeah,
that's what you start to internalize. It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. And it's just really important for community.
Yeah.
For that reason, having safe spaces with
Mm,
others, because we're social animals that
true.
that require each other to survive. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go and dig in a salt mine to get my, salt or my food or whatever. We really are like social creatures, that are interdependent, on each other. And when it's scary to be that way because you're hearing leaders talk like absolute nut jobs and psychopaths, it
Mm,
does just, yeah, it puts extra questions in the air that maybe don't need to exist. And I think the the antidote to that can sometimes be community and being in
yes.
safe spaces instead and getting fed that.
Or even just having one person who you perceive as safe in a space
Yeah,
really
yeah,
changes it for me. Like
yeah,
that same scenario at the gym,
yeah,
the two or three guys who I do know are queer and who like see me when I
yeah,
go there,
yeah,
and who I'll nod to. Those three or four guys will be the antidote to like the one who's looking at me that I'm not sure about, that I can't
yeah,
get a sense of like how MAGA this person might be.
yeah,
But like I don't know. I do think also people talk about Australia being, further away. It's not America, it's far away, blah, blah, blah. I do think it is different. I think people here don't have as much pressure
Mm,
on us financially. Like we have healthcare, you
that's
know.
that's right. It's
I think that things over there can be a little more unhinged
yeah,
than they can be here at this point, And the thing is that our politicians have just learned how to be really polite about how much of a psychopath they are. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they're not like doing much that's different. They're just doing it with this polite demeanor on top of it.
yeah.
That's which is how politicians have always done it in the past. I feel like Trump's just saying it.
He's saying it so
No, but he is worse.
yeah.
He's unbelievable. It's like every day there's something,
But it just
you
feels
know,
like there's this geriatric nut job
because
that's
he's
like,
saying stuff about autism too now, and I'm like, hey, buddy, why are you
but
coming for me?
he's just saying that it's caused by having Panadol. Like
But that's so uncool.
deranged.
He's saying all women shouldn't take any Panadol when they're
I
pregnant.
know, I know.
What? Like
Look,
pregnant
that is
women
the least
need to
of the
do whatever they want to need to do. Like
it's
pregnant
the
women, if they're
least
in pain,
the least problematic thing that they're doing to pregnant women right now, because there are pregnant women that if they have a miscarriage at a later stage of their term, they can't even get medical assistance. They can bleed out in a car in the hospital parking lot because
oh
people
my
are
God,
afraid of treating them
because of the
because
abortion stuff.
yeah, and
So that's what I'm talking about. Like
life
I
changing, you know.
that is that is like on an immediate personal level,
Mm.
you all over there are dealing with stuff that's I can't really fathom
In
in a
LA,
way.
we're not really dealing with it that much, and also the healthcare here isn't too bad. In California, and a lot of
That's good.
yeah, with there's Medicaid, like anyone that's on a low income can has healthcare,
Mm.
but everything
Oh,
is
that's
just
good. I'm relieved to hear that.
expensive. Yeah, it's still expensive, and there's still AI and jobs and blah blah blah. There's problems economically
Mm.
for sure. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that that doesn't solve everything at all.
No, no, no. But
But
I also just I feel
yeah.
like also I'm living in a I just feel like if I was living in Adelaide where my family came from might be different.
Mm,
If I was living in the
yeah.
country in Australia it might be different.
Yeah.
Um Melbourne's also pretty bubblish, you know.
Yeah. Melbourne's
It's
awesome.
a sweet little bubble.
Yeah.
Lots of good music people. I
Yeah.
feel very safe here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think that's also, I think I would talk about it differently if I was a trans woman. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
it's much different for trans women, I can gather.
Yeah.
Like they
Um,
tend to bear the brunt of any violence against trans people
that's interesting.
because of misogyny, you know?
Yeah. Hmm. I
Can
think
you hear that beeping sound?
no.
Okay, good.
Is it me? I might
No,
be.
it's me. There's a truck outside my place. My
Oh,
place is really
okay.
noisy.
So did you grow up in,
I grew up in Lower Templestowe in Melbourne, in
okay. Yeah. But your
and it's
family
like
is in Adelaide.
they moved from Adelaide when I was in utero. I
Oh.
always joke that like I was in the uterus going, move to Melbourne, like kicking my
Yeah.
mum. But it was circumstantial. Like my dad just got he'd always been a lift technician. So
Mm,
an electrician who works on elevators and escalators.
yeah.
And but then he got promoted to management and then we moved to Melbourne for that
Okay.
purpose.
Where's like
So we're
finding
really aspiring to
now?
like a really aspiring to the middle class lifestyle of Lower Templestowe, but we didn't quite fit in. But it was still a pretty nice place to. Socially, it wasn't very nice for me, but it was a nice environment in terms of the look of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I just feel like I'm about to talk about high school, and I just don't think I want to.
I love just knowing, these little
The
secrets.
little random facts, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
little
I
random
like
secret.
we moved to Warrandyte when I was 13 as well, and I loved that because I got to swim in the river a lot and
Mm,
be in the bush with no people around, and that
yeah,
was super important for me as a teenager. I didn't know it at the time. I
yeah,
was annoyed by being stuck out there at the time, but I love it now looking back. I have a real relationship with nature that I don't think I would have had if I
Mm,
didn't live there and like need to just go. I used to just go for long walks on the property and like smoke ciggies by
yeah,
myself and like,
yeah.
just that alone time
It's
is
beautiful. Yeah,
super important when you're a teenager.
yeah,
I hope kids get to have alone time still.
yeah. I heard that it's called raw dogging.
Raw dogging. Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
heard
Yeah.
some term like it's no longer that no longer means sex without a condom. I
No, it
guess
means like existing without like assistance.
technology. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
kind
yeah. I
of
mean, you can
happy
raw
and
dog also like if
sad
you're not. Yeah, yeah.
that we
I
have to
mean,
have a term for it. We have to
well,
have
I mean,
for
I
being a
also
person.
feel like if you're going out without noise canceling headphones, you're raw dogging life. If you're not, like if you're going out and you haven't smoked a joint, you're raw dogging life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
everyone's got their coping mechanisms.
yeah, their version of it.
If I don't get a coffee before I leave the house, raw dogging
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I don't know if this is very interesting for people to listen to.
I I love I need my coffee too. Okay.
Totally. I love coffee so much. Oh my God.
Well, we've talked about the project that you're working on right now, and we've kind of
Hmm.
talked about your themes as well, which
Yeah. Well,
are
I feel like my themes, maybe my main theme in life has always been inquisitiveness and curiosity.
yeah,
Those two things are the core
yeah, but about
driving.
relational stuff and
Oh, relational things too. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a huge theme right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I really like that. I saw you perform when you were here, and it was very moving, and just hearing you
Oh,
describe
were you at that Zebulon show?
it was, yeah, yeah,
Yay. I'm so glad you were there. That show was so fun.
yeah,
I remember that show really fondly.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
really, really great. And it was so nice to just get, the sense of you, and I feel like describing it describing your kind of creative artistic themes as exploration and in, investigation maybe
Mm-mm.
and relational, like reaching out for connection and trying to
Mm.
discover what that means in
Trying to understand what it is to be a human.
yeah, I really felt all of that at your performance. And
Oh, thank you.
the thing that I think is really funny, and I do these podcasts and ask these questions about themes and what inspires people and what moves people to create. And I think every artist thinks that their themes are very obvious. Like, of course, I think maybe all artists, and I think it's not the case. I
No,
think
yeah.
I think it really shows something individual about people. Like
True.
interviewed a director whose main thing was like friendship, and the meaning
Yeah,
of
yeah, that's
friendship
cute. I
and
like that. That's
melancholy.
good.
And probably to that person that was really obvious, but other people are like childhood. I'm always untangling my childhood.
I
Um,
was doing that for a long time, for sure.
yeah. But what you're talking about, that's an aspect of it, and
Mm,
exploring that relational energy. I think
mm,
we are all doing that for sure, but do you think that it's interesting, to see what inspires a person and what moves a person
mm,
to create and bring through something that hasn't existed before. Um,
which is hard to do.
yeah.
I also think there's just something really important about engaging with material that you do not know yet.
Mm,
Engaging with the sensation of I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what this is going to sound like. What am I doing? Like all of those questions and those intense feelings you can have when you don't know. I think that's important to grapple with. Like,
Good.
because
Yeah.
it's also like grappling with the universe. Like we don't know all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff about that.
It's also like co-creating with the universe in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, true.
and your own unconscious, and just like
Mm-mm. Like the
multifaceted.
body as your kind of material or lightning rod or
Yeah.
Yeah, I also got really into quantum physics lately, but trying to talk about that is like basically impossible.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's a whole
But
other.
I've started trying to make some video works about it
Oh,
because of that.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess another thing I want to talk about is just how much fun I have collaborating with visual artists. I've been doing that a lot over the last few years, and like it's just cool because they just go like you'll throw a concept out or they'll throw a concept out and it's so wild and far out and you're like, that's how is that gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then it does, and it's really incredible.
Yeah.
I've worked with some
Collaborate.
sculptors recently and I've worked with some other visual artists who did some video works that I did some music for. And I just love also, like you say, everyone has all their own themes and their own materials. So you end up like really learning a lot each time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's really nice.
Oh, we've been
Um,
talking a while
we
now.
have, yeah.
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
um so I'm gonna just say that it's been really amazing to talk to you and
Yeah,
wonderful.
I love talking to you.
Yeah, Scorpio to Scorpio.
Mm.
And
Excuse my dog barking.
oh, cute. And I just want to suggest for everyone to check out Ev's work, wherever you may be in the world, either viewing or listening to this. Please check out Ev's work. We're going to link to you, Ev, so that people can do that with a click and very easily. And if you're in Melbourne, check out the show, which is what date did you say?
Actually, the show won't be till next year, so
Next year. Okay.
keep
So,
an eye on Substation in Melbourne if you're around in but I also like will be putting out music
yeah.
online at some point. It's just a matter of when I can sing it,
Yeah.
which I think will be soon. I think after this residency. Yeah.
Yeah. It means a lot to me to just bring more Australians together and to, reinforce creative communities around the world because we need it more than, I don't know, it's mean to say more than anyone else, but we do hard work that is often
Mm,
overlooked and unsupported. And
mm.
the way to change that is by advocating for each other and coming together and
Yeah.
supporting each
Yeah,
other.
and music is at a pretty critical juncture
It is.
generally.
Yeah.
So I think the more that we're all talking to each other and like remaining enthused
Yeah.
and like inspired and it's inspiring each other
Yeah.
is good because
Yeah.
we need it. We need to be able to do music and there needs to be, it doesn't have to make us heaps of money, but there needs to be a reason for it in a way. Like it needs to be valued.
Yeah. And there's always a reason for it. Because it's just no one can live without it. It's just we need to
Yeah.
get people to well, and I think people do know the value of it. I just think if the more we value each other and what we do, the
Mm,
stronger
that's true.
it will the stronger the industry will be, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited to work together with that.
Me
Content,
too.
especially that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And
Will we
everyone,
turn off the mics and
well, everyone, before we turn off, check out Ev's work. It's awesome.
and do it on Tidal or Bandcamp,
Yeah. Yeah.
not Spotify. Thank you again. I'll talk to you soon.
Paper roses floated on the pond,